Hi, and welcome to Roulette's Play Postmortem One Must Die Extended Scythe Cut. This is another one-hit wonder. Basically, from what I understand, you go in, you talk to people, and you can choose to kill one person at this, kind of UN meeting that will change the fate of the entire world. It sounded really cool playing a Reaper and stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. I was also told that I could just choose someone to kill and have the game over in like 3 minutes, or I could try and do some research. So I'll probably try to do a mix of the two. Please proceed to my briefing. Gladly. How does one briefing proceed? Welcome to Postmortem. This room functions as a brief tutorial. Follow these guides to learn how to play the game, or step through the door to skip it. You can rebind controls using the keybinder.exe. This tutorial will refer to default values. Use WSAD or the arrow keys to move around. Look at me, I'm so dapper. Look how fucking dapper I am. I am dapper as fuck. Hi. Good, you can use the E to interact with the world like doors or furniture. Ooh, can I eat this? Case profile, it said E. Country, Galicia. October 18th, 1897, population 1.9 million. In a country in its early stages of industrialization, torn by almost 5 years of violent domestic conflict called the turmoil. Operative assigned, pending review. Status incomplete. E to talk to others, the speech bubble will appear. Them during conversation, use number keys 1 through 9 to make dialogue choices. So I'm guessing I grabbed that. Let's see what, can I eat this furniture over here? No? Guess not. How about this? Can I eat this? Can I eat this? No? Alright, let's have a chit chat with this chickie poo. Hey, how you doing? I like your vest. Welcome, agent. The powers that be demand you to take one life tonight. The choice is yours. Understood. Where are you sending me? The choice is mine. We're sending you to Galicia tonight. How much do you know about the place? I know a little. I read that thing over there. Well, no matter. You're not here to meddle in mortal affairs. Go on. Pick a life and get the fuck out. Do be careful, however. The place is pretty unstable right now with the violent civil conflict between New Ager, and Old Ager groups. I'm ready. I have some questions. Oh dear, you're one of those. What do you want to know? How did the conflict start? All started with an argument over some traditions on what defines a true Galician, resulting in a baker being shot. Anger and violence soon followed, quickly spreading. This baker revolt, as they called it, highlighted the ideological and economic struggle between the two factions. What is it about? There's 2 dimensions. First is the question of tradition and preserving the real cultural heritage is in light of rapid industrial and economic progress. The second is the struggle between the wealthy business owners and their workers, demanding better treatment and pay. The 2 dimensions seem to align themselves, with New Agers on one side and Old Agers on the other. New Agers are primarily wealthy businessmen and open-minded thinkers. They're in favor of rapid development, progressive reforms, and overall moving the country forward. They're criticized for abandoning their cultural past and exploiting their workers for a quick profit. But Old Agers are mostly the common workers and older rural folk. They speak the need to preserve the culture and defend the common man from exploitation. Many are seen as holding backwards and archaic views and slowing down the country's progress. Actually, I wanted to know about you, baby. Why, yes, let's grab some tea and biscuits and spend the next 4 hours chatting idly, because I don't have anything better to do tonight, right? Fine. Rude. God, I've been rebuffed so hard. Rebuff the wood. Why, yes. What? That's not what I said. I said I want to go. Alright, good. Turmoil is why we're sending you to a fairly peaceful and safe gala. You know the type. High-profile fundraiser event for some vandalized? Oh, for some vandalized, maybe, high school? Shouldn't be much trouble. Why was the school vandalized? I don't know, but I believe Rose Hill High is one of the few schools that refuse to segregate students based on their beliefs and social status. Angry parents on both sides protest that policy rather directly. So a bunch of influential people are there. Among others, at open events, you might see people from all paths of life. In any case, don't get too involved. Just be prompt and efficient. We don't do overtime. Couldn't my choice have significant impact? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? This isn't some sort of game. You don't win a prize at the end. Just claim a life tonight. Whatever works for you. And one more thing, not that it matters, but what gender would you like to appear to the mortals? Let's be female. Ooh. Poof. All done. Magic. Now go up ahead and we'll transfer you. But I have more questions. And I have more pencils in my drawer, but you don't see me bragging about it. Still here? Don't waste time. I was just shh. We're busy filing your paperwork, and the longer you stay, the longer the paperwork gets done. But my, you're relentless. Just go already. But rude. I had more questions. Fine. I want to leave. Alright, so I think I'm going to kill the first one that I see, and then I'll go through the story. Galicia, city of Entrim. Alright, tab is choose target, Q is notebook. Ooh. Rose Hill devastated, Selden to hold fundraiser. Destroyed playgrounds, broken windows, political graffiti is what greeted Rose Hill High School principal Ronald Gilchrist, or Gilchrist, or Gilchrist, entered the school grounds on a staunch on the morning of September the 6th. Entered the school grounds on the morning of September the 6th. Gilchrist's staunch non-segregation policies, allowing children of both new agers and old agers to be educated in the same classroom, appear to be the reason for the attack, judging from the graffiti. They play at being focused on our future, but they're simply beasts, the principal says. Destroying an educational facility is the antithesis of progress, no matter how your politics lean. Bill Selden, the CEO of Selden Glassware Inc., announced a plan to host a charity gala to raise funds for renovating the high school. High-profile guests, including the Thatchers of Gal Media fame, have already expressed interest in attending and providing generous donations. Old ager proponents have noted that, peculiarly enough, Mr. Selden has no children, nor has ever married, and believe this would be a sympathy grab by the new ager upper class. Okie dokie. Well, I saw her first. Let me see what I have a feel for. See if there's anybody that I feel like, oh, that's a window, that's not a door. That's not a door. Alright, so there's 3, 4, 5. Oh, hey, how you doing? 5 people. Excuse me, pardon me. Oh god, this place is big. Nothing going on in here unless I'm going to be snooping. Locked. Perhaps there's a key somewhere. Oh, we are definitely going to try and find that key. But first, you're the first one I saw.
How do you do?
Ophelia Thatcher. I do not care for your pleasantries. Goodbye. Walk up to a character, press E to claim them. Yes. You have made your decision. Unexpected death shocks charity gala. A fundraising gala for the benefit of the recently vandalized high school took a grim turn close to midnight. Ophelia Thatcher suddenly collapsed. The cause of death is unknown, explained Dr. Vives, but initial analysis suggests heart failure. Ophelia was the young daughter of the Thatchers, known for her work at Gal Media Inc., with the biggest radio broadcasting company in Galicia. The gala's host, the CEO of Selden Glassware Inc., expresses sincere condolences, hopes the tragic event will not damage his image or company. In an act of goodwill, he promoted an experienced server, Franz Cole, to head human resources. Rose Hill High was only able to raise part of the necessary funds needed for its renovation, remaining just one of the many organizations affected by the country's turmoils. New leader, same violence. Trenton Freedom Force, the most radical and violent pro-old age or terrorist group in the country, took a strange turn in leadership today, proclaiming young Gary O'Neill, former student from Rose Hill High, one of its new key speakers and activists. Jerry, or Gary, I don't know which, Rather fanatical involvement with the organization was uncovered shortly after a charity gala for the benefit of the high school hosted by the successful businessman Bill Selden. A charity gala I once participated in really opened my eyes. It really made me realize how ignorant the average Galician is about the conflict and that we have to make them care. The group, seeing no change in political and economic sphere among the wealthy businessmen, such as the aforementioned Mr. Selden, combined with Gary Jerry's aggressive viewpoints, has remained just as active and violent as ever, continuing its fight for the Alderidge cause. What does the future hold? New hope for Galicia. Connolly's 5-point plan accepted. As many of our readers will remember, Prime Minister Connolly's new 5-point plan, a simple but highly anticipated plan for family bringing the Galician turmoil to an end, was unveiled a week ago. After a week of strenuous negotiations, the plan was finally accepted this morning, meeting with great enthusiasm by both sides and conflict, except of course the TFF, which stayed fairly ambivalent about it. The great success in large ways has to be attributed to the strong influence of the Thatchers. The Thatchers have turned all their efforts towards promoting unification after their beloved daughter's tragic death. Ophelia's passing reminded us how fragile life is, and with the power of our radio company, we realized we can really reach out and influence the public. The sad death of Ophelia at least was not in vain. Wealthy lobbyists did little to help the negotiations, always at odds with the old agers' pleas. Some analysts argue that if just a few of the more successful and promising CEOs could be convinced to change their policies, their involvement would have panned out differently. But perhaps now is not the time for grave economic shifts, potentially further destabilizing the country. Maybe that's why many HR managers, such as Frank Cole, recently hired by Selden Glassware, still oppose radical reforms, including hiring female workers. So while we may not be seeing neither new age businesses upping their production, increasing profit, nor better wages and policies benefiting the old ager workers, at least Galicia remains economically stable in the otherwise very turbulent times. The acceptance of the Connolly Plan will hopefully mark a new turn in our country's turbulent future. However, the vandalism of the mixed Rose Hill High School a few months back and failure to raise the necessary funds to renovate reminded us of our lacking institutions to promote long-term reconciliation and show that even if the politicians may be nodding their heads, the regular folks are not ready to shake the other's hand. Due to your involvement, the Galician turmoil continued on for another short year before a ceasefire agreement was brokered. The level of violence and random attacks did not increase during the time. With conservative leaders and lacking facilities like Rose Hill High, Galicia's future was uncertain and embarked on a long and difficult process of reconciliation. The denizens of Hengford continued being terrorized by random acts of animal violence. So, hi. What happened? You're dead. I'm sorry. Why? Someone had to die. Why'd you choose me? I simply chose randomly. That's not fair. Actually, that's the fairest choice of all. It's unbiased. Well, are you happy with yourself? I think I did a pretty good job. So what'll happen to me now? Hey, I ended that civil war with my random choice. I'm just saying. You'll be judged accordingly. What do you think my odds are? Yeah, they're pretty good. That's comforting. So I guess I step into the light or something? Actually, just, step into that next room and the secretary will take care of you. How bureaucratic. I guess I'll ask them more questions. Goodbye. Thank you, I guess. You're welcome. Bye. Bye. Have a good afterlife. Thank you for playing. All right. So, status closed. Result pending review. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this again. This time, let's actually try and get into that room and do a little research. Shouldn't we try and help the conflict? Look at you. First assignment already trying to play the big shot. This isn't some sort of game. You don't win a prize at the end. Just claim a life tonight. Alright, let's be female again. Understood. I will catch you later, secretary. I like your shoes. Bye. Okay. So let's try and get into that room, maybe. And from there, try and figure out a little more about it all. Okay, so I read this over here, right? Yeah, I read this. Anything to interact with in the coat room or any of these drawers? Okay. From torch to turmoil, exploring the roots of the Galician conflict. It's been 5 years since John, fuck that last name, a local baker from the city of Lorraine, was shot by a customer following a heated argument over the definition of the traditional holiday bread. While the incident may seem ridiculous, its impact was significant. Mobs took to the streets, sparking violence and turmoil that spread. This baker revolt is symbolic of the many questions brewing over these decades, and what defines a true Galician. Are the factories bringing affordable necessities or exploiting the rights and producing generic goods? Are we sacrificing our culture as we enter the age of rapid reform? The ironically named Old Ager and New Ager movements soon emerged, with more poor and rural folks defending tradition, cultural heritage, and worker rights on one hand, and wealthy progressive industrials crying for liberal and pro-equality reforms and developments on the other. It's no surprise that the conflict of the Galician identity has become synonymous with socioeconomic struggle. I'll talk to the guests afterwards. I want to read everything first. With tension high as we approach the 5th year anniversary of this turmoil, the Prime Minister is planning to unveil a new 5-point plan to embark on a path of reconciliation. Will the plan succeed? The pro-Radiger culture unforgotten coalition, now 35% of the popular vote, will need a lot of convincing after the insult they saw McDillan's plan to be 2 years ago. Even less likely is the militant Trentor Freedom Force agreeing to any ceasefire. Only a new open-mind leadership should sway the group's agenda at this point. Things are equally grim on either side of the fence, with People of Progress, close to 40% vote, still vehemently compromising its strong pro-New Ager platform. With donations from powerful players, those key figures will undoubtedly have to be swayed first. Regardless of the plan's outcome, the coming weeks will play a crucial role in our future. With so many influences, a single key player or a single swayed opinion could have far-reaching consequences. The turmoil is as likely to come to a peaceful end as to extend by many more violent years. Even so, rebuilding and reconciliation will be a difficult process, requiring much open-mindedness on the part of various institutions. A real challenge in the recent vandalism of this high school. Perhaps the school can dispel fears and prove a model for the future. We got in here. Military to quell Trenton riots. Hardly matters who the original aggressor were anymore, as a week later, riots in Trenton show little signs of slowing. Both types of protesters chant claiming the city was their home, quickly escalated into violence on Tuesday. The local constabulary tried to no avail to calm the crowd, becoming itself engulfed in the uncontrollable riots. Shelters for local families have been constructed, allowing a place where those who have had their homes destroyed seek refuge from the violence and help identify bodies of those slain. This isn't politics, it's pure hate, remarked one of the Trentor citizens, rushing to see his injured son at the overcrowded hospital. Prime Minister Darkins has finally approved on the official request from military intervention in Trentor, but many fear this may only serve to escalate the violence further. Yeah, I don't think this is important. It's just some dude's recollection of the marching of an army while he sips coffee and eats bread. Only 2 days after opening, the first automobile manufacturing plant in Galicia has been devastated. This tragedy is not only for Audemars Inc., but it's a tragedy for anyone who believes in our country's progress. Initial analysis has ruled out negligence or accident. We found several shattered bottles filled with flammable substance that seemed to have caused the fire. It appears to be the work of an incendiary, suggesting that this has been yet another attack in a series of politically charged violence sweeping Galicia. Many suspect that the newly formed Culture Unforgotten Coalition may have been behind the arson. Organization is a peaceful one despite the slanderous claims of our opponents. One of the key figures of the group which vocally supports the old agers agenda. City officials refuse to comment. Did I read this one? Dowers Crafts. Huh. Okay. That seemed not important. Did I read this one? Yeah, I did. Excuse me, bacon powder. Another heinous act of animal cruelty shocks the denizens. Warm morning sun was not enough to protect Mercedes Aguilar from freezing in horror. She turned the corner of Axley Avenue while taking her young boy to school. The left side of the street was blocked by a dead peacock with a severed head. This was the third such occurrence in a recent bizarre wave of animal cruelty, mere weeks after the raccoon incident. The constabulary no longer believes this to be an unfortunate accident, but deliberate acts intended to terrorize the otherwise quaint town. It's those bloody New Agers, I tell ye, Miss Aguilar reported to us. The robber barons trying to scare away all kids like at Rose Hill. However, Stanley Hornberger, the local representative, denounced such accusations. A beautiful peacock surely represents a New Ager, and the removed head is intended to represent a negative message against us. Whoever the perpetrator, these bizarre incidences are further dividing the local community, giving both of them another excuse to blame and detest the other. Anything else over here? Ooh, okay. I found a key! Fuck yeah, I'm taking that key. Oh, hell. I really hope this doesn't get flagged on the on YouTube. Okay. So, December. Small argument in a local bakery over the holiday tradition results in the baker being shot. Angry mob takes to the streets, largely comprised of working class traditionalists, and the New Agers are generally the wealthy upper class citizens. Okay. And then in March, the cuck the cuck supporting old ager agenda grows in popularities. And then April, the car factory, plant is caught on fire. In May, there's an extinction bombing. Homemade explosions detonate at a predominantly old ager house for the elderly. Suspectedly retaliation from the New Agers for the car factory fire. September, Battle of Trento, violent protests turned into an uprising in a small town. October, the Tififa emerges, a pro-old ager paramilitary group, damn. And then the following March, the 5-point plan are unsuccessfully proposed. And then that May, the Pop New Ager organization forms as a response to Cuck and Tififa. Officially classified as a terrorist organization in February. April, the factory workers march on a strike for better pay and benefits, seen as distasteful by numerous New Age figures given the 2-year anniversary of the fire. And then January of the following year, the coffin protests. Coffin makers of Pagford refused to make coffins as a statement of solidarity against the violence. Wow, and then that September was when the high school. Oh, there's something over here. Nation divided. Following the Bakers' Revolt, Blah, 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 blah. Cuck rapidly grew in numbers. Year later, turned to violence. Tufafa proved to be more militant. Finally labeled as a terrorist group. In response to Cuck and Tufafa, they form POP, which pushes their liberal agenda. While diplomatic, there's numerous of unconfirmed rumors that linking the leaders to numerous acts of violence, dating as far back as the extinction bombings. The government is in a difficult position, balancing these two sides. It has, however, been criticized for its New Ager bias, lobbied by strong pro-New Age figures such as the Thatchers. So let's go into this dude's study. Yay! What are you up to? There's a picture of a little girl. I thought he didn't have any kids. A little insidious. Is your child's school breeding old agers? Would you let your child play with backward Philistines? Would you teach them traditional propaganda? Would you cripple their potential? Then why allow a high school to do that? Boycott Rose Hill High. Don't let your children mix with old agers. So he pretends to be kind of like neutral, but he's actually pro old ager. Hello, Gary. Oh, Jerry O'Neill. I'm a student at Rose Hill High, volunteering at the event. Just small stuff, carrying food, get people coats. You must have heard about the incident. Our school got vandalized. Some folks aren't happy. I see. Anyways, tell me more about the incident. Some people were destroyed our playgrounds, threw bricks at our windows, sprayed insults all over the wall. They weren't happy. I see. So what are the old agers? New agers? Must not be from here. Are the sides? These are the names of the two sides of the turmoil. First ones to preserve our culture are mainly composed of small local businesses. New agers are mostly Wesley businessmen, a big speaker, who are pushing more industrial progress. What do you study at your school? Math, literature, history, all sort of things. What's your favorite subject? Well, I do like history, especially the archaeological bits. I took an elective in business marketing. That was really fun. Why'd you decide to volunteer tonight? I think it's good to get out and meet new successful people. What kind of successful people are here? Miss Build Bridgers earlier tonight, and young Miss Thatcher is around here. He used to be vocal about preserving our traditions. If only he had Mr. Selden's resources. Used to be. He seems to have become very introverted in the recent year. Surprised he even came. So what kind of stuff does Mr. Selden do? I'm not from around here. He's the older of the glassware, things maker of glass products. He took his father's so-so business, completely turned it around, finding new markets. Originally, his father produced only small home products, that kind of stuff, and when he took over, he expanded to windowing with a whole new method of cheaply making glass sheets. It was brilliant. It sounds like you want to be like him, in many ways, although I don't want to just pursue business for the money. Isn't the whole point of business to make money? But it's really what you do with that money that matters. Gosh. So much to talk about. Wow. You could have really extensive conversation with these people. Okay, I'm just gonna la 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 until he lets me leave. Alright.
Hello.
Ektarina. Hello. I am Ektarina. Pleasure to meet you. Likewise. Tell me something interesting about yourself. Where are you from? Portswigoratan. Wow, that's a mouthful. What brought you here? Moved here when we were young, pursuing a better life. I never inquired much. And how's this working out for ya? Whatever you do, you make out of it. Some places are better than others. Suppose I'm more interested in moving forward with my life rather than dwelling on the past. Okay, so let's get out of this conversation. There is just too much to this game to be able to figure out what it is to talk to these people about in order to make a decision. So, I remember you become like a leader that helps resolve that thing. So let's see. John Dowers, I don't know anything about him. Don't know anything about Electra. You end up becoming the leader for the Thatcher group. Bill Selden, yes. You feel like you are more of a political player. There's more to this house than I realized. Alright, unexpected shock. Yep. TFF new leader, same violence. Okay, so the same guy still becomes the leader. Oh, yeah, Gary, right. Gloomy day. It was refuted. After a week of strenuous negotiation, the plan was finally refuted. Country's beloved Ophelia Thatcher had little impact on the negotiations, but we can now see she played her cards smart by holding off her radical pro-women and gay rights agenda. One of the charity galas someone reminded me with all the fighting. Speaking out now would only further destabilize. Two sides still hostile towards each other. Perhaps now is not the time. Okay, so basically me killing him means that he couldn't try and push the agenda. The turmoil continued for 3 long more years before the ceasefire was brokered. The level of violence did not decrease. Thanks to influential figures and strong new facilities like the Rose Hill High, Galicia was able to embark on a promising process of rebuilding reconciliation. The denizens of Hankford continued being terrorized by random acts. Huh. So, I guess he has to stay alive because he helps finish the war a little bit slower. So, you're dead. Someone had to die. You seem dangerous. Based on the information that I found. I guess I don't have the best report. Little late for that now. Well, are you happy with yourself? I wasn't really doing this for myself. So what will happen to me now? I don't know. I've never died. Gee, thanks. So I guess I step into the light or something? Something. Guess it's goodbye. Just go. Shoo. 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 Flattery won't help you now. Bye. Alright, if you want me to go a little more in depth, if you guys want me to go a little more in depth with the political story and stuff of this Postmortem, if you found it interesting, let me know in the comments below and I will give it another playthrough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it despite it being way more political than my usual game. But I was a Grim Reaper, so it still technically counts as my style of game. Anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. I appreciate your support. And until I get better, give me some suggestions in the comments below of one-shot games you guys would like me to play. Something that only takes maybe an episode or 2. Alright? Thanks again. Bye, bye, bye. Oh!